Developing a collaborative safety plan. The therapist shifts the responsibility for Katie's safety away from her mom and towards Katie by helping her be more motivated to manage her difficult feelings in safe ways. Asking Katie what she wants for the future is used to help her be more successful in the present and decrease her suicidal ideation and behavior. The therapist and the family co create a safety plan in the context of the therapeutic conversation. It's important that the safety plan is grounded in the details of what is happening when the unsafe behaviors occur. A safety plan is more likely to be successful when it targets what makes sense to the family based on their description of problems, wishes for the future, their values and commitments, and what new behaviors they are willing to try.
Okay. So if you were in charge of your own safety, which ultimately you really are, right? What what kind of baby step of a plan might you make to try to take more charge? And you said you wanted to be happy and you want to be happy. If you were to create a plan, a safety plan for yourself, like where would you want to be headed? Just go with like the biggest goal possible and then we'll backtrack to like a baby step.
Um, like I want to go to college and
You want to go to
on my
college
own.
and live on your own.
Yeah.
And if okay, when you're imagining yourself living in college
Mhm.
on your own, what what kind of relationship would you have with your sister and your parents?
I think I would love to be just far enough where I have my own space, but close enough where we get to have dinner on the weekends and
Hmm,
go to Puerto Rico together,
okay.
spend time together.
And when you imagine yourself in college living on your own, how have you managed to keep yourself safe to to get to that goal?
Um, I don't know. Do you want me to quote all the safety plans I've made?
No. Not ones that haven't worked. We need like a new safety plan because I want to throw away all the ones that haven't worked. I want to try something like radically different. If you can think about something, think about something that you could actually do to keep yourself safe so that your mom, especially, is not like in charge of your safety. So you guys can have actually some pleasant time together.
Um, I guess one thing I could do is to seek things out intentionally when I start getting into my feelings.
Like distractions or something,
Yeah.
or relationships, or what are you talking about?
I think like sometimes reading is a good distraction for me and I just escape everything.
Mhm.
Um and then but sometimes I think I can do that in a not helpful way where I just feel sad and then read things that are sad to make myself feel worse.
How is your mother gonna know that she doesn't have to check on you constantly and that you're okay? Like, what is it that you could do to let her know that you're okay instead of her constantly having to worry?
Um, I don't know. I guess we could just plan checking in with each other where I'm it's not like a surprise. It's not just out of nowhere. And it's every day. I know we're going to check in about how I'm doing.
And do you want that to be about how you're doing, like whether you're safe or not, or do you want it to be having a pleasant time together, or like what do you think would? I don't. I'm not trying to lead you to anything. I'm just wondering, are you wanting to create some positive connection, or are you wanting to create a time to talk about your upset feelings?
Um, I think I really just want like positive connection, but I know you also just want to know if I'm safe, and I get that. So I'm okay if that's like a part of it too.
I want to know that you're okay, but if you're not okay, I also want to know. Like, I don't want you to tell me you're okay if you're not really okay. Because if you're not okay, then I want to be able to do something.
It feels like, and it completely makes sense, that you need to know what's going on in her head in order for you to feel okay. And I guess part of me wants Katie to be in charge of her own safety and for you to try to be there as her mom that would be like a regular teenager. And I know that's like a ridiculous leap to ask you to try as an experiment. Like, what if you had a time together every day where you just tried to enjoy each other's company instead of, because it seems like your whole relationship has gotten taken over with talking about whether she's okay.
Yeah, I could have that if she could also promise that although she's promised this before and then she hasn't followed through, that if she's not feeling okay, that she would tell us before she acts on it, you know, so I would love to have some regular time with you that we just do something nice.
Because part of what I heard her say was that there's a part of her that likes the connection with you when you're worrying about her. So I just wonder if you flipped it and you had connection that wasn't about worrying about her, if that might help Katie to take on the job of keeping herself safe and you let her have that job and you be able to go back into like being a mom and just doing something of connection with your daughter.
And you think she's going to be able to keep herself safe?
Time will tell us that. But I think that what's happening now is not working. Like, so doing more, like, what is it, Einstein, like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I just don't think doing the same thing over again is going to help. And I wonder, Juan, how you and Maggie can support each other to try to shift things a little bit.
Would you be willing to take that risk? Let her be, that's why we wanted the residential program.
I think I trust that she could do what she says she's gonna do, but I worry that you might not feel the same way.
What can
About
you do to support Maggie? Is Katie, who's saying she um, wants to be happy and she wants to have a positive connection with her mom. What can you do to help Maggie with her very reasonable worries so that you can help Maggie with her worries? And then Maggie doesn't always have to keep checking in with Katie, and we can let Katie kind of be in charge of whether she's safe or not.
well, I've been trying to get her attention to look this way instead of that way all the time, but it hasn't.
Is that about your need or about Maggie's need?
Well, that's more about my need.
Okay.
But there's not much I could do for her if she's not looking
Okay,
to changing her direction of attention.
So I'm asking you what you can do for Maggie as you see how worried she is about Katie. If we're going to give Katie the opportunity to try to take care of her own safety, how can you help Maggie with her to help her not check in with Katie about the worries all the time?
Well, I think that she has a sister that she likes a lot, that they're connected, and I could try to encourage her to call her sister some more.
Okay.
That
Okay.
because that's her source
Well,
of
let's
support.
check with her because part of me was wishing that there was something you might be able to do, but maybe encouraging her to call her sister is the right thing.
Maybe that's one way that she won't have to look to reach out to her. She can reach out to somebody else that in her family, because she's very close to her family, and that's what she get a lot of her support. So that's what I would.
How much have the two of you been supporting each other versus going around stuff that's going on with your kids?
Yes, that I haven't supported her as much because the spending so much time talking to her and going to hospitals that we haven't really had much space for ourselves. So it hasn't been easy.
Do you have a sense of what you might need from one? Just if you could just suspend your worry for 1 second and see if there's something one could do to support you.
Maybe he could do more checking himself, with Katie. So, because he's so mad at me that I keep checking on her. But I have to check on her because he doesn't, so who's like he gets mad when I get up in the middle of the night and go check on her. And I don't know.
You want me to check on you in the middle of the night, like your mother does?
Not in the middle of the night.
Okay. So
It
what?
doesn't have to be in the middle of the night. I mean, you should could check on her some of the time. But you always say,
But I was asking
no.
what he could do to support you, not to support Katie.
but that would be a way of supporting me.
Okay, but I'm just thinking about something else.
He could stop telling me that I worry too much or that I,
Okay. So instead of telling you that you worry too much, what would help? What could he say to you or do with you when you are worried? If, say, you were having an urge to check on Katie and you wanted to try to give her the space to see if she could take care of herself, what can one do that would help you?
maybe instead of telling me that I'm worrying too much and that I don't need to get up and blah 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 blah, getting mad at me, maybe he could. Maybe you could say, I know that you're worried, but remember that we went to family therapy and they said to not check too much or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna be worrying.
Yeah.
And if I don't go,
Yeah. Has he ever been one to give you TLC when you were worrying?
I don't know. I mean, I think that when she goes to the hospital and stuff like that, that in the beginning we're both like worried sick. Like that's
So you can ask
scary.
in the worried sick, are you connected with each other around that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. But then after a while, I continue to be worried. Like when the crisis passes, the first crisis, then I don't stop being worried. But it looks like he does. You know. Um,
That's true. Yeah. I don't worry as much as she does.
I mean, he tends to get upset and like, why are you doing this, Katie? Blah blah blah, and
So I think you need, if that's a complaint, right? And a valid complaint. He gets upset and he questions what you're doing. If you turn that complaint into a request, could you make a request of Juan?
could you stop telling me that what I'm doing is crazy and that um stop getting mad at me.
And
Yeah.
instead, what would you prefer?
uh, that you would say, yeah, this is a serious business and you have a right to be upset and worried. And
And how do you think that would affect you if he kind of just validated your concern and was trying to provide comfort? How do you think that would affect your worry?
well, I feel like he's, even if he's not showing it, that he's agrees that it's serious and it's something to be worried about. Because sometimes I feel like
But how would you think that would affect your worry? Would it make it worse, better, or the same?
I think it would make it a little better because I would feel like I'm not alone in the worrying.
You want to say something there?
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I mean, I worry as much as you do about her, and I know what you done is serious, very serious, to hurt herself, and I think you don't see, but I worry as much as you do about this, and I know it's a big deal that he worries for a reason. Um, so I know that it's hard for you to see your precious child suffering the way she is, and there's not much you can do about it so far.
How's that affecting you to hear that?
I know deep inside he.
Yeah. But when he expresses it, does it have an effect on you?
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Okay.
It's good to hear because sometimes you don't act as it.
So there's a lot here, and we can't. I wish that I could make everything better like all today. That I think there's a lot about figuring out how Katie's gonna make herself safe. I think there may be things that you haven't yet been able to talk about the complexity of this family coming together. About the beauty of it, and also about what's been hard, to be, they have a previous life they came to you with, and sometimes when they're adolescents, it becomes more complicated. They may be having things going on inside of their head about who am I. They may have all sorts of questions. They may be missing people, even people who weren't able to take the best care of them. There's a lot that maybe we could talk about. I don't know. I'm just guessing that there's a lot. Um, we have a big task to complete because the program that I run wants us to come up with a preliminary safety plan. And I know it's kind of ridiculous to think we can write something on paper and everything's going to be okay. So I don't want to pretend that that's the case. But I just would love to challenge you each as you reflect on this conversation to think about what is one small thing you could, as you think about like where you've been stuck in this same thing over and over again, like what's one small thing you could each try to do differently? It just as an experiment to see if it helps Katie to be taking better care of herself. I'm going to ask you, do you want to go first or last?
Last.
Okay. We might have guessed that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna put pressure on you because we're running out of time.
I know. I know the pressure's coming this way.
And we're only, if you decide to use our service, we're gonna experiment every week and try things and see if they work. And if things are dangerous, you can always call 911. I'm on call. My colleagues are on call when I'm not available. We can try to figure this out together. I don't want to pretend I have a magic bullet here, but what's one small thing that you can do as you're thinking about everything we've talked about?
Well, I could say that one takeaway that I could do is to help her when she's worried and sort of be more supportive of her when she gets very worried about it.
Okay.
And just a little, like shifting, moving this way.
Shifting toward your wife
Yes.
instead of getting into disagreements about.
Support. Yeah, like she said, just recognize how sharing how it affects me.
Okay. And since she's worrying a lot, how often do you think you can be supportive? Like make a goal for yourself.
Yeah. Like a number of times or
Yeah. Between now and next week, how many times are you going to lean in and be supportive? And are you going to do it proactively or are you going to wait until she's worried? Come up with a specific plan.
I'll check on her every day, I guess.
Check on, see how she's doing every day. Do you think it'd be better to do it at the beginning of the day or the end of the day?
I don't know. What do you think? Beginning of the day, middle of the day, end of the day?
Maybe end of the day after work.
I was thinking that too. Like at the beginning of the day, you got a lot on your plate.
Go to school.
When you come home from work, if the two of you have a conversation and one provides some support, we'll just try that and see if it has any effect on how. I know I'm not saying there's nothing to worry about, but the way you're worrying is just painful, and it's not making things better necessarily. So what about you? What's one small thing?
I think I would love to start doing something normal with Katie, so just talking to Katie and figuring out what she would like to do.
So have like a normal
Every
something.
day has something to do with her.
Right.
That's
Beautiful. That's not about what's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. So the two of you will set up a time to figure out what that's going to be.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on you because she said she wanted to go last. Lexi, what's one small thing that you think you could do that might shift things in a positive direction?
Maybe hang out more.
Oh, look at that smile. I know you're getting old and you want to hang with your friends and do people's hair, but is there a way that would feel good to you if the two of you could have a little positive connection, maybe like you used to?
Yeah, we could watch TV. I mean, we both watch TV just in different rooms, so we could watch in the same room.
Are there some shows you enjoy together?
I think so. We could probably find some.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Nice. All right, madam. Pressure's on.
I could say how I'm feeling sometimes and try to just like volunteer it instead of waiting for you to pressure me.
Say how you're feeling poorly or well or in general or
Any kind of.
so
Like
you tend to kind of go into your turtle shell and then that gets people to be trying to pull you out. So you could just be more interactive, more connected instead of pulling up and worrying people. Okay. But in terms of keeping yourself safe, do you think given how things have been going, do you think What are you going to do about that?
Mm, I have been keeping myself safe for a while because the last time I was in the hospital was like 2 months ago now.
Okay.
So I have been staying safe.
Okay. So, what's your plan on a daily basis about your safety?
Um, I think my plan is to just like be more intentional about like seeking out things that are good for me. So instead of like just leaning into the crappy feeling and looking for things that are going to make me feel worse, instead, like doing something that's good for me or fun.
The therapist sees that family relationships are organized in a way that perpetuates the problem in a circular pattern that has no beginning and end. The more the daughter is not taking responsibility for her own safety, the more the mother is frequently worried and checking on her daughter, and the more the father is angry at his wife for her checking behavior, and the more the sister leaves the house, the more the parents argue with each other, and on and on and on. The therapist invites the family to decide what they are going to do differently. Prioritizing the youth's and the family's voice and choice increases the likelihood that they will follow through to enhance safety and well being for everyone. The therapist makes suggestions based on what she has seen and heard from the family. She presents them as a question to help the family own the plan and try new things that make sense to them. The therapist reframes the situation in a way that reflects the challenges of a multicultural and adoptive family with adolescents. The reframe normalizes their struggles without assigning blame. The therapist asks the family to make very specific commitments about what they're going to try to do differently in the days to come. The goal is to increase family harmony while increasing safety and well being for all. Katie agrees to try to manage her own difficult emotions in a new way that has potential to minimize risk. The parents and sister articulate new ways they plan to interact that may interrupt the problematic pattern. When the youth who is at risk of harm is not able to create a safety plan for themselves, and the parents do not offer anything to try to minimize risk, we ask them to reflect on what happened in the meeting and come up with something different to try.